Starting with Nikola Jokic, one of the main things that really intrigues me about Nikola Jokic's game is how he can impose himself on different aspects of the game seamlessly, easier than any other person that I've gotten to see play the game, essentially. He shoots from the three. He doesn't hurt you anywhere offensively. On the inside, though he's not athletic, he's extremely efficient in his ability to lead pass and to involve others around him and maximize their efforts. Really leads to this great three-level scoring, facilitating seven-footer that's quite unstoppable in his prime, which I would say that we are definitely witnessing Nikola Jokic's prime with two MVPs. Some would argue should be three, and a Finals MVP now to go along with that. While being actually, by the metrics, one of the better defenders in the league. To me, Nikola Jokic has been absolutely spectacular and an underrated leader as well. Will motivate on the bench into the face of his teammates, not afraid to challenge his teammates to run the floor or to do better or to play better defense, not afraid to challenge himself as well, and also is obviously going to lead by example. And one thing that I really want to point out about Jokic is his ability to rebound can really control games at times, especially with how good he passes off of the outlet. We were talking about a guy that can really get up for his second jump a lot quicker than people realize and grab offensive and defensive boards. So much respect to Nikola Jokic, who I believe is arguably, if not the best player in basketball today. Moving on, I'm going to Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 2. Giannis, quite simply, can do things physically that no other player can dream of, almost on a historic level in terms of anyone that's ever played the game. His combination of length, fast twitch muscle fibers, explosiveness, strength, agility, cardio, verticality, really leads to him being amongst the most dominant athletes I've ever witnessed take strides on the court. And on top of all this, he's a force defensively that involves his teammates and makes them better as well. To the level of Jokic? No. But Jokic doesn't defend necessarily to the level of Giannis or run the floor quite as well. As a matter of fact, very few in the NBA do. And one thing that I really love about Giannis's game is the fact that it's coming on both sides of the floor. So when he is getting matched up with some of the other people that I'm going to name on this list, he gives them a way harder time defensively than they could ever dream of giving him. And that's a big reason that I feel like on any given night, I could also argue that Giannis is the best player in the world. Quite simply, the only reason he's at number 2 on this list is because he didn't win this year. And even with a hurt back, still gave you 38 points and 20 rebounds in the closeout to end the season off. I feel like Giannis Antetokounmpo is just capable of things on the basketball court that no other player in the league can replicate. And, the only reason I have him second to Jokic is because Jokic was the last man standing, stayed healthy, led his team there, maximized his teammates as well. But I cannot take away from who Giannis Antetokounmpo is, especially defensively, and the accomplishments he's already had in the league at this early age. So, shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Up next, some people might not like it, but I have LeBron James. LeBron is still capable of things that quite literally just leave me awestruck at times. We're still talking about someone that is 6'9", somewhere in between 240 and 260 any given night, and running the floor like an absolute gazelle. The thing that I love about LeBron's game is that he combines a lot of the games of a lot of the great players that we've gotten to witness and enjoy over the years. The T-Macs, the Michael Jordans, the Scottie Pippens, the Larry Birds, the Dr. J's, the Wilt Chamberlains. We've gotten to see. He's a good glimpse at the story of basketball as a whole, as it's existed up until this point. And that's one thing I've always enjoyed about watching LeBron James play. Though he could be a better free throw shooter at times, and his defense has regressed in these latter stages of his career. He is a completely underrated defender, at least these last couple of years, in my opinion. and is still, when healthy, the most impactful player in all of basketball, arguably. I say arguably because, once again, Jokic was the last man standing this year. But LeBron's superhuman athleticism combined with his longevity and his intelligence make him a force on the basketball court that can't quite be replicated within the league. There's no one that has the database that he does inside of his brain while still being capable of the things he can do athletically. There's no one like that in the league today. They're either not quite as physical or not nearly as smart. Another thing that I love about LeBron's game is that obviously he is known as well for maximizing his teammates. We'll see what happens with this new team. It seemed like they started clicking after the trades got done. We'll see if that can build that into something. But even if LeBron James does not win another ring ever, he is still going to go down as arguably the greatest player to certain people. Top five at the very worst, and that's not that bad when you think about it. And moving on here, is a player that I think that we could all agree with, but I didn't have him on the list for a while. So, moving on, Steph Curry. For me, Steph Curry is on this list for a simple reason. I didn't have Steph Curry on this list for a long, long time. And the reason I have Steph Curry on this list now is because Steph really revolutionized the game. And not only did Steph help to revolutionize the game, Steph is also the most underrated leader, I feel, in all of basketball. What he was able to do when Kevin Durant came to the team, what he was able to do with Andrew Wiggins in a younger squad in 2022. I just feel like Steph Curry has really solidified himself not only as the best shooter ever, but the best point guard of his generation. And the great thing about it is Steph continues to be the best point guard in the game today. When you look at his ability to distort a defense, to ruin a game plan, his ability to tire out defenders and constantly stay on the move, superhuman handle and amazing craftiness. When you look at his box office ability and the fact that he's still within the prime years of his career, and the longevity of Steph's game to this point as well, you really just have a force in the offensive arsenal onto itself when you talk about Steph Curry. Very underrated on the inside. And like I said, an extremely passionate and good leader that knows how to use the energy of the locker room to maximize the output of the team, even if he's not necessarily the guy getting the assists all the time. Definitely in a fortunate situation, definitely got drafted by the right people, but had to fight for everything that he got in the league, including his health. And I always respect that about Steph Curry. So definitely on this list, not necessarily just for what he does on the basketball court, but how great a leader that he is off the basketball court is why I have the four-time champion Steph Curry at number 4 in the league today. And number 5, for me personally, once again, people might not like this, but I have Luka Doncic. Quite simply put, I feel like 10 years from now, we'll look back on Luka's career and say, well, wow, that was pretty spectacular and ridiculous. I feel like he's easily one of the faces of the new generation. He's a guy that I could see sticking around for a long time in the sport. Extremely crafty, 6'7", big. I don't know if he's a guard. I don't know if he's a forward. I don't know if he's a. I don't know if he's a point. I don't know what the hell Luka is, but he's an amazing basketball player. One thing that intrigues me about Luka's game is that he's been playing against grown men for a very long time, since a very young age, and that's one of the reasons that I really like and respect what Luka does out there. Another thing that I like about Luka's game is how smart and intelligent he is as well. Kind of has a third level sense when it comes to the passing. Amongst the best passers in the league, up there with Jokic, up there with LeBron, Simmons. He's right up there with any of them, in my opinion. The Tyrese Halliburtons, I suppose. So yeah, I really respect Luka's game and his ability to maximize people. Complains a little bit too much and is still evolving defensively, and I feel like the more he gets physically in tune and connected with the game, the more he'll be able to be more serviceable on defense. But the Mavericks are not a great defensive team, and that's also going to need to change for Luka to be able to have a shot to truly solidify his legacy. But all that being said, I feel like Luka's natural talent and ability is really going to drive him forward and help him to become amongst the best forwards that we've ever seen. We'll talk about it with the Scottie Pippins. We'll talk about it with the Dr. J's. We'll talk about it with all these people. So that's what I got for you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think and what your personal top 5 is. Do you agree with me or not? Roast me in the comment section if you don't. And let me know what yours is, most importantly. Don't be roasting me for no reason. But other than that, I'm your boy, Mugen the Diamond Lion, and I am out.
I don't give a shit, it's getting dark. We need a spark, and the Lord is lit, knock it out the park. I'm Barry Bonds, 2006, let's hit home runs. My shit go dumb, there's a level of intelligence.